To summarize, and I apologize if I become a little bit controversial to some of you, I hope not too much. Ownership used to be built on responsibilities and care for the company. Today, this long-term perspective is often lacking in international business. Owners become anonymous, and large institutions or even robots are trading shares, reflecting 1 millisecond over its decision. Ownership becomes a matter of rights instead of responsibilities, and it creates a distance between the owners and the company. The real decision makers becomes the managers, and they know they will be judged by these short-term owners in how they do their jobs. So what becomes the main driving force is maximizing profit and a short-term perspective, as you will have to focus on the next quarter in such companies. It's not some sort of evil, unethical behavior by anyone. It's just the way it is. But it fosters greed. Some people might say greed is good. I think that's nonsense. Greed often blinds your real values and sound judgment, and it creates big risk for how the company handles human resource, reputation and risk management, and marketing and sales. And you all know how many times we've seen companies and brands being destroyed by this. There must come a change where enough is enough, just like Anita Roddick said. I personally believe that's a value change we need if we're going to survive. A system built on unsound values and greed will of course not lead to a sustainable society. Maybe you know this already, that already 1759, what we call the founding father of capitalism, he actually wrote this. This disposition to admire and almost to worship the rich and the powerful, and to despise, or at least to neglect persons of poor and mean condition, though necessary both to establish and to maintain the distinction of ranks and the order of society, is at the same time the great and most universal cause of the corruption of our moral sentiments. He's kind of shooting capitalism in its own foot, 1759. For a very long time, we had a business community built on values like this one, stated by the Nobel Prize winner Milton Friedman. Especially during the 80s and the yuppie periods, some of you might remember, this was the paradigm. Talking about sustainability, responsibility, and values at that time was not easy. Most of the time, people were actually laughing out loud. But it changed. This seems more like we have to think today. So, how can we adopt? Has the corporation, the most effective form of organization we've seen so far, has it become antiquated in its current form? Just like anything else that's created in a context different to the one it's actually being used in. 1988, the US Congress acknowledged the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy to the development of the United States Constitution. And I'm, of course, extremely honored to be the CEO of the first company ever to be founded by this confederacy outside the US. And of course, you could never wish for an owner with a more long-term perspective. Please let me quote the main sentence I've learned from them when it comes to leadership and sustainability. When you make a decision, make sure that it relates not only to yourself, not even to your family. Make sure it relates to the welfare and the well-being of the 7th generation to come. Together with Onondaga Nation, we decided to meet the future challenge of how to feed people in the urban area using commercial tools. Since then, over 1,000 members joined Plantagon, and thousands of people all over the world continues to spread our offer. Even the White House in Washington, actually, and its ambassador in Sweden help us to spread the word. Plantagon is, to us, a vehicle to reach efficiency and impact for the important work we believe we do. My owner's instructions to me, 2008, were show that sharing and responsibility is as profitable as greed and irresponsibility. Many CEOs would like to have that kind of owner, I can promise you.